Welcome to Machine God Eats. My name is Mr. Darling. I'm 42, and I don't believe that people my age and younger will ever have the opportunity to retire because the system, the way it's designed, isn't set up for us to do so. Um, the way things are looking right now, at least from the perspective of a lot of young people, is that despite how much labor they put out into the workforce, there will be no fruit at the end of that labor. And so a lot of young people can come off as very jaded when it comes to working 9 to 5 jobs, when it comes to wanting to be company men, when it comes to wanting to be um, what do you call it, loyal to a corporation. They're smart in that aspect. And I'm gonna tell you why. There's a woman that I work with in my job, and I love. She's a great woman. She's in her 60s. She's been with that company for over 20 years. She was recently written up this past weekend because her Ziosk numbers, Ziosk being this little tablet thing that sits on a table. They want us to utilize those things in order to put in appetizers at the table. And they're marking our percentage on how many we actually put in at the table and how many we put in at the computer. Obviously, for a lot of older people, especially due to the whole social aspect of standing there trying to utilize these kiosks, it's a lot easier to go back to the terminal at the computer to put in the person's appetizer and a lot faster for them. So a lot of the older people that I work with, including myself for a minute, will just go back to the computer and put the appetizers in. But due to the fact that they're marking this metric and her metric was below par, she was written up. Not because she's not selling appetizers, not because she is a bad employee or because she gets complaints from customers or anything like that, or because she doesn't show up for work, but because she wasn't utilizing this machine that is ultimately put in place to replace us. So yeah, having loyalty to a particular company is dumb. But you, in order to have any comfort, unfortunately, within this particular society, you're going to have to work for somebody. We all do. And that's at every level, whether you know it or not. You could be the CEO of a company and you're still beholden to your shareholders. You still have to make sure that company is running, that all of the fucking gears are greased and working accordingly in order for that company or conglomerate or corporation to run accordingly, or else you will be replaced by your shareholders, right? As a content creator, these just big content creators bringing in all this money. They bring in all this money, but they put in a lot of time in order to entertain their audience, keep up with the zeitgeist, keep up with what young people like to bring in an audience. People like Kai Cenat and stuff that are able to bring in millions of dollars and make a career out of what they're doing and make careers out of people that are helping them do what they're doing. Those people, that's a job. They're still working for their audience. For people, working fast food, you still have to work, you still have to serve that window. People working in the office, you still have metrics that you have to meet in order to have these things out of life. What are these things? A roof over your head, okay? Food in your stomach, okay? A car to drive, a vehicle to freaking run, right? Even though I don't drive, having a job during the point where I was homeless over this last couple months, I was able to fix the tire whenever because I was working. You understand? I'm gonna get into that in a minute about how being able to have a job and keep a job even when you're in a desperate situation and keep an income coming in makes that situation a lot easier. You understand? Having a gym membership, to be able to wash my ass during the freaking week, a storage to be able to keep my stuff and store clothes so I'm not walking around like a bag person with a cart or all these backpacks and all this other shit. You understand what I'm saying? These are things that I was able to maintain because I had a job. But what people will tell you is quit your 9 to 5 to pursue the side hustle. Well, the side hustle, there's no guarantee, no matter how talented you think you are, that the side hustle is going to pay off or that there's going to be enough money coming in order for you to maintain even a menial lifestyle that's going to keep you off the street. So you have to work for somebody. Take myself for an example. Here's a couple of my cartoons, right? These characters that I make. Here's a version of myself. The action, my cartoon character. These characters take me, and it's only because I hyper focus and I put in a 10-hour day. These characters take me 3 days to make. to design them, to freaking put the skeletons in them, because these characters like him are fully articulated. They blink. I'm able to move them in all these different directions because of the time it takes to actually build them up. Then put on the clothes. Like this particular one is wearing armor and stuff. These things take a lot of time. With this right here, I'm working on nuclear pudding too. I don't know if y'all can see this. Let me try to. I'm gonna have to. I'll try to incorporate the bike. Oh my God, where is he? There he is. Try to incorporate the bike. There it is. And there I am on a bike, right? In the wasteland trying to, I ain't gonna tell you the story. But these things take time, and there's no guarantee that these videos, the algorithm gonna push these videos, that there's gonna be any financial gain out of making this content. I make this content because it makes my spirit happy. So just even completing the cartoon is enough for me. If there's some financial gain at the end of it, great. But I also think of this as a foundation for the things that I do want to be able to build for myself when I am working for myself and just working directly just for my audience and the people here, right? That's what I ultimately want to do. But yet, that is still a job. I would still have to be able to produce content that is engaging, that people want to come here and watch or listen to. You understand what I'm saying? On top of me making the stuff that makes my heart happy. You get what I'm saying? But there's not always a guarantee that there's going to be a financial incentive for that, right? So if I would just outright quit my job and was just sitting up here making cartoons, who's to say that anything will go viral? Who's to say, even if something does go viral, there's not, who's to say that there's going to be enough money in order for me to, pay for my room and stay here? No, I'll be back on the street. And the reason I bring this up is because there was a girl. I saw a video yesterday on my way to work, and it was a woman who said that young woman, who said she's been homeless for 530 something days. And I was like, how have you been homeless for that long? You're a young woman. She wasn't, a bad looking woman. I'm not talking about she should sell her body, because a lot of people go into that shit. And even in her comments, it was just weird. But I'm like, she's a young woman. What's going on? So as I'm listening to the video, it made sense. She said that she can't work a 9 to 5 job because she has suicidal ideation, and when she works a job, she wants to take herself out of the game. And I'm not trying to be insensitive, but a lot of people do. A lot of people go through that on a daily basis, right? I don't give a fuck, That's every almost every job, okay? But if you want this baseline level of comfort, she would have to submit to the system to a certain degree. And I know that there's a lot of young people, like I said, because the way that they see the future, they know that there's no, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, so to speak. So I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I just want to be the next big thing. Not realizing it's still a lot of work, right? With no guarantee of a reward. No guarantee you're gonna be not. There's no guarantee you're gonna be able to make a big enough check from creating content or making art or making music or being a rapper or being a singer in order to live in this society. You probably are gonna have to clock in somewhere. That's just the harsh reality of it. It sucks to know that. And there are people right now that are that have degrees that are being turned down at McDonald's. There are people that are, and I'm not laughing because of the absurdity of it. There are people that are wanting to work anywhere just to be able to have a consistent paycheck coming in, because a consistent paycheck, even when it's fucking dirt small like mine be, is a baseline in order for you to have some level of comfort within this machine. It's just the truth. So don't just outright quit your 9 to 5. And yes, it is inspirational to see people like DoDash have this dope ass rise, because she deserves it. She's been consistent and she has the personality for it. You know what I'm saying? Whether she believes it or not, she does. She's that person. She's that lady, right? And she's been doing it consistently as a job on YouTube for as long as she has, in order to get what she has gotten, right? And on top of her, giving all glory to the Most High and whatever, um, she has been able to reach the success that she's been able to reach and inspire other people to do the same. But y'all have to pay attention to the fact that she didn't just quit. She didn't stop dashing until she was solidified. She didn't stop dashing. She didn't just quit her 9 to 5 or her gig work until she knew she was having a consistent check coming in. You understand what I'm saying? And even then, she's so humble to know that at any moment it can all be taken away. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm telling y'all, regardless of whatever, keep your 9 to 5, or like I say, always. You don't have to stay there, but make the lateral move to go from there to another place. And I'm telling you from experience, from a person who have walked off of many a goddamn job and not had something else lined up in the future for right away for me to go to, and going through that couple months of being on unemployment and you know in between jobs. That shit's trash, not having money coming in. You understand what I'm saying? But especially in this time, because your ass will end up out there on the street sleeping on some fucking concrete, and that is not fun. It's not fun. It's not. It's not. I have one of my followers on here who's telling me how he was homeless out here. He's a good dude too. At least from what I can get from the chats and stuff. Um, but he's out there in LA. He's out here, but he slept in. And you know what I'm talking about. You've been sleeping in some rough areas, bro. And I think a lot of people sleep in those areas, because I was thinking about that. I was like, a lot of people sleep in those areas because, for the most part, the cops don't bother you for just sleeping and loitering, because that's the area. Like even downtown, there's a lot of the same people loitering in the same spot. And I'm pretty sure y'all have seen in some of my videos when I've been on the bike and stuff, people have been laid out and all that other stuff. The cops don't pretty much bother those people for the most part. Whereas when you're in the nicer neighborhoods like where I was, you do have to be a lot more covert. And like I said, that's why I had my storage to be able to put my stuff in. So I wasn't out here looking like a bad person with all these backpacks and shit, and just being completely obvious. But people catch on based on routine. They see you there every day. They know you've been there for hours. They pick up on it. You know what I'm saying? And if the cops get wind to it, or if you're an eyesore in a particular neighborhood, yeah, they're gonna kick you out of that situation, or they're gonna make you feel very uncomfortable. So I can understand why a lot of people feel move into these unsafe areas. Like this is an unsafe area, but I'm indoors. You know what I'm saying? But like, a lot of people out here living outside, like literally living outside here. You know what I'm saying? So it's humbling, very humbling. And that's what I say. Like, if you have a consistent income coming in, and sometimes you just have to put up with people's shit for a few hours out of the day, and remind yourself you only putting up with people's shit for a few hours out of the day. You only putting up with people's shit for a few hours out of the day. What else are you doing? You get what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people don't, especially these young people, don't have father figures in their life to necessarily tell them this, and for various reasons. But you have to put up with people's shit. You're gonna always, we all are gonna be working for somebody. And like I say, for people my age and younger, we probably gonna be working for somebody for the rest of our lives in order to maintain even just a little bit, because the middle class of the 20th century was an anomaly for most of human history. There was a have and a have-nots. You understand? And it seems like there's some type of balance coming back into place to do that again. And you kind of want to be in a position to where you up here and not down here if you can be, but there's no guarantee that that is. But even if you are down here, to maintain some level of comfort, you're gonna have to work for somebody. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead, hit that like button if you did. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Shout out to all of the new subscribers. Shout out to all of the people leaving comments. I will be a little bit more consistent in this coming week. I've been trying to establish some shit again, because I have been obviously out there, so I hadn't been able to work on a lot of the stuff that I work on when I'm sitting here at the desk. But I'm back at it. So my focus has been on multiple things: getting to work, doing this, and also putting out content that's worthy of watching. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, bye bye.